right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Refined Live Podcast. I'm Bigg Vinny. That's Jeff Suter. Over here we got Jared Blake. He's on his phone right now. You know why? Because he's always working. He likes to call me out. I'll call his ass out.
I'm making Thanksgiving plans, actually.
Oh.
Speaking
Well,
of Thanksgiving.
that's convenient because today our episode is going to be about Thanksgiving. And not just the holiday, but the holiday is important, you know. I think a lot of times the thing that I was wanting to talk about on Thanksgiving was this. It gets lost between Halloween and Christmas. Because people start getting ready for Christmas as soon as Halloween's over. Now, I'm that guy. My Christmas tree is already up.
Same.
All the decorations are on. The lights are in the yard. The blow-ups are in the yard.
None of mine up.
Well, your blow-ups.
It's our tradition.
Your blow-ups in the
Our tradition is it doesn't happen until the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, that's not my tradition because I want to have my Christmas tree up for more than 25 days or 30 days, whatever it is. Here's the deal, though. It does get lost in there. And I think for me, a lot of people ask me what your favorite holiday is. Well, obviously, it's Christmas because I'm basically like going to be a future Santa Claus impersonator whenever I get older. I'm gonna be the guy like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. I'm going to take pictures with kids. It's going to be great. But until then, I love Thanksgiving because there's no expectation. You just go, you sit with your family, you watch some football, you eat, you talk about how thankful you are for the things that God's provided you with. I love that holiday. Now, I know there's people, obviously, that get like, well, you know, Thanksgiving, we shouldn't celebrate that because, you know, I'm like, listen, whatever you want to go look up historically on it, I don't care. For me, I love the fact that there's a day set aside that me and my family, multiple different parts of my family, get together, eat some food, talk about things we're thankful for, and just hang out together and have that time together. And I never want to get that lost. And I think we should do it more. I think there should be a Thanksgiving like once every month or something like that, where you just like, hey, I'm going to schedule with my family or my friends, maybe do a Friendsgiving kind of thing. And we're just going to get together and we're going to, you know, pitch in. Everybody's going to buy, you know, some kind of food or bring their favorite dish. And we're just going to hang out and we're going to eat and we're going to talk and we're going to have a good night. You know what? Let's start doing that, guys. Can we have a monthly Thanksgiving?
That's a stellar idea.
Dude, did we just invent our own holiday month? Monthly holiday?
Yeah.
What are we going to call it?
I think that people did that before cell phones.
Well, we had dinner. I mean, me and my family. Me and my family still in not that I'm in town.
Board games were important.
Oh, I love board games.
I know.
I would play board
I
games
used
with
to
you
have
anytime.
my friends over every Thursday, Friday,
I will
Saturday,
beat you.
Sunday
I will
night.
beat you in Risk.
It might have been 3 a.m.
Or what's the one you like to play with?
Monopoly. You're not beating me in Monopoly.
Oh, I'll beat you. That's a guarantee.
No, you won't.
But what I was talking about, what was the one you play with your son that you lied to him in? Was it Risk?
Oh, Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still heard about that.
I'll beat you in that one, too.
That was like 13 years ago.
I've never even played it, and I know I can beat you because that's the kind of confidence I have in myself when it comes to being bored and playing games.
No. It's a lying game.
Oh, no, I'll suck at that.
Yeah. You've got to convince everyone.
That's the reason that I would have never been good on Survivor unless I had you as my teammate.
You're a murderer, and you have to convince everybody you're not a murderer.
You
have to tell a lot of lies in order to make sure that...
Do I look guilty?
Which is why his son is still hurt to this day.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, because it was over a pinky swear. He was like, you pinky swear you're not the mafia? And I was like, I pinky swear I'm not him. And then I was totally mafia, and I killed him.
He knows the pinky ain't a Bible, right? The pinky ain't a Bible.
Right.
And you're playing a game.
But then you go
the point is to lie.
You go to sleep, and then you got to kill someone off.
Yeah.
And I killed him immediately.
Oh, that's great.
He gone.
Like right after you pinky swore with him?
Yeah. So then everybody woke up, and then they told and last night this happened, and then the mafia killed Cash. And he was like, immediately looked at me, he's like, oh.
That's great. I have to play this game sometime. I think we used to play Risk back in the day. Isn't that the one where you have is that War? What was it called? When you have like you're a country and they're a country, is it called Risk? Is that Risk or is that War?
Let's do that real quick. What was your favorite board game as a child, and is it still your favorite board game now? And if not, then what's your favorite now?
Mine 100% has always been Monopoly because I will literally terrorize anybody in here at Monopoly.
Me too.
Mine would have been Scrabble or Battleships.
Scrabble, is that the one where you got to spell words?
Yeah, bro.
I'm out.
AI is not a word for the record if you ever play.
I'll tell you. Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
Was it Battleships? Was that a game?
I love Battleship. Yeah, Battleship was great.
Yeah.
No. Did you say it's still the same game then? Now?
No.
Categories was fun.
Yeah, Scrabble and Battleship would have been my top two.
So you were a smart kid.
Yeah, you did have to be smart to play Battleship.
No, I mean I was talking about the Scrabble.
Oh yeah, no, that
Yeah,
we
I don't
do.
know that I've ever been
We
beat in
can't spell.
Scrabble.
Yeah, my whole thing with
Oh, you haven't been good at it? You just liked it?
I've never been beat.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you were one of the smart kids, right?
see when I was
Yeah.
a
Did you go to
kid.
private school?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
See when I was a kid.
You listened in school?
No, I didn't do that either.
Oh, you're just smarter than us.
I think I was just born somewhat smart.
He's trying not to say, yes, I'm smarter than you.
Well, what
I think I was just born knowing things that you never learned.
Well, it's like you all ago. You're talking about being born with these talents that other
Yeah.
people weren't. I mean, it's true. You
Yeah.
know, you were smart.
Yeah,
You were talented, and I was sexy. You know, that's the curses we
it's a
have to
good
live
trio.
with.
Right.
It's a good trio.
But listen, it took me until I was an adult to get the concept on Battleship, to where when you hit a number, then you either got to go down or sideways, either way, or up to hit the next number. And so my next moves, I'd just be like, oh, hit him there. And now I'd just do a random number over here somewhere, a number and letter. And if I would have just thought about it, it's like, oh, if I just, if I hit him once here, then if I hit him one of the other directions, it's liable to hit. And then if I hit him the second time, well, then I know the ship is going up and down, or I know the ship's going sideways. But my dumb ass didn't even think about that until I became an adult and played with my ex-stepson.
But ironically, you not thinking about it is also what makes you good at Monopoly. When people strategize too much in Monopoly, they screw themselves. They miss out on it. I mean, I just start
Or
buying.
when they
buying.
wait to buy properties, when they're like, I'm gonna give you my. When they wait to buy properties, because they're like, oh, those are the cheap properties. Let's buy those.
That's
I'm like, hell
that's
no,
my
I'm going to
point.
buy those because people hit those more often.
And you know why? Because it may not seem like much, but when there's 2 hotels on there,
Yeah.
it still pays.
Straight, cold.
You know
hard
the 2 I'm
fact.
talking about. Was it the 2 like purple
Saint-
ones right in
Yeah.
the beginning? There's like nothing. It was
The
like,
light-
yeah, but when
the
there's a
light blue
hotel on there,
starts it, I think,
you
then
still pay me
yellow.
$200
The
every time.
yellow ones on the opposite side of the board. The most commonly hit ones are the ones past jail. Because having the number, the way the die work, you spend more time on that row than any other row. So when you get the orange one, St. James Place, and those are where you're most likely going to hit. However, they cost more than the first row.
So let me ask you if you do this, because I like to torment people whenever I play. Because like once I get the upper hand, then I'll start negotiating with you outside of the game and be like, I tell you what, I know you can't afford what just happened with the hotel there.
But if you'll give me
this property. You know what? And I know you owe me $450 and that property is only $300. I'll just make it evenly. Just give me the property and we're good there. Just give me one of your railroads. Like I'll just keep antagonizing and be like, I tell you what, just give me those 3 houses over there.
and I'll cut you.
Go ahead and put them over there and we'll say we're good.
Yep.
And I'll have you down, especially when we were playing with the kids, because they'll follow through with it until they're down with that one property.
Yeah.
They got no houses and they got $13. I'm like, I know you just landed on Boardwalk, but hear me out here. Just give me $10. I'll just let you. I know.
I'll let you keep playing.
And maybe you'll get that 200 when you come back around. And then you'll land on anything and it's all mine.
Yeah. No, we'd be battling out. It'd be luck of the roll, I guess, because our strategies are very similar.
When's the last time y'all played? Recent?
No. The last time I played my wife, and I beat her literally in like 15 minutes in Monopoly.
I didn't know that could happen.
I didn't either.
It's like a 2 or 3
I didn't
hour
either,
game,
especially when she had told me
Right.
how good she was.
Oh, she thought she was good?
Yeah.
She not good?
Like I'm going to answer that, dumbass. No. Listen, no. She's good. Listen, she's great at Yahtzee.
Okay.
She's great at some other game that she. Let me just go ahead and clarify. She'll pick a game that I've never played before, and then want me to play the game with her. So I will. And in the middle of the game, she'll all of a sudden remember another rule that she didn't tell me about before we started playing the game. And I'm like, well, I could have done that twice already, but I didn't know the rule. It doesn't matter. You're just fine. You'll come back around. Yeah, but now you have the upper hand by like 1,000 times, Anyways, we'll not talk about that. That was the last time I played because you ever seen people flip the board,
Yeah.
Like when they're losing in chess and they get mad. Yeah. My wife's very competitive.
Well,
So we stopped playing board games and we only play card games because then at least if she throws something, there's only like 52,
So we play
pieces.
Cover Your Assets, which is a card game.
Oh, that sounds fun. What is that?
Cover Your Assets.
I have never played it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
Anyways.
a good game. It's hard to. It's very
I
hard
love
to
Monopoly.
explain, though. I would try,
Yeah.
but recommendation: Cover Your Assets.
I like golf. You ever play golf? Not the
that's how
All of
we've
a sudden
strayed from
we're
board
paying
games.
$100
no,
for
there's a
18
card
holes.
game called golf and you have 6 cards, you set them up and they're all face down. You can turn 2 cards over. Then there's the deck of cards in the middle. Everybody has theirs. Well, if you get like a 7 and a 7, then that counts as it's now a 0. They cancel each other out. But if you have a 7 and a 6, they count the entire numbers. So that would be how many points you have. So your goal is to get as low as you can. Aces are -1, kings are zeros. So if you have a king and a 9, it's still 9. But if you have a king and a king, it's 0. Or if you have a king and a 2, it's just 2. Anyways, you're trying to get as low as you can. But if say somebody gets all their cards turned over, then the game is over. So you might have 2 cards still left turned over. You don't know what it is. So now you got to make a decision on blindly, like which ones am I going to keep and let go? And you get one more chance after this person finishes. Everybody gets one more chance. So you might be stuck with 30 points and they might have 0.
Got it.
But you play 9 rounds of it. It's really cool. It's fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the golf. But yeah, that was the last time I played Monopoly. Scrabble I have played before. And I do surprisingly well, not because I'm a great speller, but because I understand how to utilize the ×5 or the
points.
The stuff. And that's what I've always done. The game I did like a little better was called Upwards.
I've heard of it.
The reason I like this is because you might spell the big word, but if I have one letter that can change that word, I can also then get that word.
Yeah.
So
yours is always S. You just add S to things.
Upwards.
Simply yes. Upwards. Oh, you can.
Well, definitely Monopoly was the thing growing up. But like you brought up Mafia, that became like the big thing with all the kids and everything. And if you don't, do you know what Mafia is? The game?
The game, just what y'all talked about.
Okay, so the basic idea is that everybody gets a card, and those cards either represent townspeople or a doctor or a policeman or 2 mafia members. And so when you start off, you look at your hand, you know what you are, right? Put your card away so no one else knows, and then you close your eyes, and there's a narrator that starts talking about different things and setting up a storyline. So you create a different storyline every time.
Dungeons and Dragons.
And then they tell everybody to go to sleep, and then they say, Mafia, wake up. Who do you want to kill? So only the Mafia people have their eyes open, and they point at someone in the room that they want to kill. And they go to sleep, and they say, Doctor, wake up. Who do you want to save? And the doctor can either save themselves or think, like, if they think someone else is going to be killed by the Mafia, they can pick that person to save. And they said, go to sleep. And then they say, policeman, wake up. And you're like, who do you think the Mafia is? And they get a chance to pick. All this has to be done in silence. And then if you pick one of the Mafias, then the narrator says, yes, that's one of them. And if it's not, then they tell them, no, it's not. So the issue then comes when you wake back up and they go, okay, this is what happened last night. And this was always the slogan at our house. No matter what the story was, then it was like, Zach, bowling ball to the face. That was how they died every time for some reason. And so then someone dies. And now they go, now we have to all discuss who do we think the Mafia is. And if they point out you, then you got to try to.
So if they said bowling ball to the face, then you automatically knew.
What?
That it was Zach.
No. We were just saying, like, if like Zach was the first person in our family killed by a bowling ball to the face, and then that was just how everybody was killed from then on out. But anyway, so at that point, then now you're discussing who do you think the Mafia is, and then once they go, well, Vinny's the Mafia, then it's Vinny's job to tell you why he's not the Mafia, and the cop can stand over there and go like, no, it's definitely not Vinny. But then at the same time, if the cop then admits, I'm the cop, that's how I know it's not Vinny, then the Mafia is definitely going to kill him off next. So it starts to get pretty complicated, like the way that you're just kind of rolling through things.
It sounds like you got to have several people to play the game.
You need like 6 to 8 at least. Yeah. But it's a fun game. But and then the other one was, I just asked my daughter, was Jackbox. We've been playing a lot of that.
It rings a bell, but
I mean,
so Jackbox, you're playing on your phone. You get your computer set up, you cast it to your TV, and then everyone is answering and doing stuff on their phone. It's a bunch of different games.
Yeah.
That's not a board game, bro. It's a video game.
That's the modern board game.
I hate it.
But it could be a Thanksgiving
But I will
thing
beat
for
you,
somebody out there.
Yeah, I mean, we always look for anything that involves
Brings
the family
together.
and especially when there's so many of us. There's not a whole lot of board games you can play. Like you can have several different board games going on. So we look for things that can involve everyone.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love and it's different. Obviously when you got younger kids, they're not quite at the age to start playing board game yet. But I do look forward to Jagger's getting to that age now. We'll play the matching game, or I did get him pie in the face this past year, and first time I did Harley, and she got that. She was like, And she started crying. I was like, my baby, come here. And I was like, I'll lick all that whipped cream off for your face, you know. But it's like you feel like, man, you're excited about those days, you know, because that was a big staple in our family. And even whenever I first got with Jenny, it was a big staple for us all. Sit and play cards, craniums, categories, like all those things, you know. So as the kids do get a little bit older, it's going to be exciting to see them cry their eyes out when I smoke them in Monopoly. No.
So since that doesn't happen for us as much anymore because our kids are older, we now find ourselves probably once a month winding up going to Lane's Trains.
Lane's Trains,
Yeah.
automobiles.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like a fun center.
A little fun center. Yeah, it's just little games and that kind of stuff, which I didn't realize, and I'm kind of bothered that I didn't realize this my entire life until I think it was last year sometime at 44. I found out that I never lose at the claw. Never. The claw games.
Yeah, where you get something, where you win, where you pick something up with the claw.
Yeah, and so like last night, to give you an example, like Jen's over there playing one of those little coin games where, you know, like the carnival sort of thing that pushes coins, it pushes something off or whatever. And I was bored with that, and I turned around behind her, and I swiped my card, and I picked up 2 375 ticket rolls and drop them. And I was like, that's easy. Swipe it again. I picked up a 900, dropped it. Like, she turns around after playing her game twice, and I'm standing there with 2,500 tickets. And she was like, what the heck? And I was like, I kind of want to see, like, I feel like to understand if you can ever actually win whatever you've spent there, I'm just going to come in here with $100 one day and just put it in, and I'm just going to play the claw game. Full one at $2 at a time, and then get as many tickets, and then decide, did that buy $100 worth of crap or not?
The problem is it will still be $100 worth of actual crap.
Yeah, it won't be anything I need. Yeah.
My son will love it, though. Dad, did you see that?
That's what will happen.
It's a sticky hand.
Well,
What's a sticky hand? And next thing I'm sitting there and my hat's getting smacked by the back of this sticky hand slinky thing, whatever those things are.
Yeah, I'm going to win all your stocking stuffers this year, buddy.
Yeah. Well.
Some poppets.
Weren't we talking about Thanksgiving?
No, well, I mean, I think we are. I think right now we talked about
family,
what we do during Thanksgiving with family and things like that, which I think is great. I think there's always obviously the traditional, like, hey, we get together and we eat, you know, and watch football, whatever. But I think it is interesting to think about. What do you think is there's a family tradition that you and your family do outside of games and stuff that you think may not be the norm for everybody else?
You know, while you were saying that, I immediately was thinking about it's not my family now, but growing up, and man, I loved it. Like, every Thanksgiving morning, it started off on a deer stand.
Oh yeah.
And then we went in, like, and if you shot something, then it pushed dinner back a little bit because then you had to skin it and get it ready and everything, dress it. But Mom was in the kitchen cooking when you came back from the deer stand already.
Right.
And man, I just remember, like, it was like one of those flawless feeling days. Like, literally just went out. I was in the woods. So whether you shot something or you didn't, like, you were just in the woods. Just,
I have come to the conclusion that a lot of men hunt just so they can go and sit in the woods by themselves and not have to answer anybody or talk to anybody.
Probably some truth in that.
I mean, it's one of the main reasons that I like mowing my lawn so much.
Yeah. Because then it's like you're being productive, but then nobody can really mess with you.
Right.
Because like if they do come out
They're
and
like,
mess with you.
hey, you're like, I'm doing this.
Yeah. Do you want to do this? Okay, good. That's cool. I think that's a great tradition. I grew up the same way. You know, a lot of people going hunting and stuff. I enjoyed hunting as a kid. I just hunted and killed so many deer and so many turkeys and squirrels and stuff that I'm like, man, I don't want to have to ever cut an animal open again unless it's a necessity, and sit there and drain the blood and tie them up, rip the skin off, and
I'm good.
I don't want to do that anymore. Or the turkey, you get that boiling hot water and you put them down in there and you let them soak, and then you just rub the feathers off,
Well, there's an interesting part of Thanksgiving. I'm not a turkey fan.
Yeah, you did you said that one episode.
Not a turkey fan.
I love turkey. I love it.
I had turkey for lunch today.
Yeah, it's rare that we ever make a turkey. I did a turkey on the green egg one time. That was phenomenal. But we'll typically do ham. I like ham. We moved ham from being Christmas to Thanksgiving in our family. And then we moved to a prime rib on Christmas because the prime rib always goes on sale around Christmas because no one's buying it because they're all buying hams and turkeys and stuff.
I like both things. I'll eat any of those things.
Yeah, same.
Turkey, prime rib, chicken, gravy and biscuits.
I'm not mad at any of it.
No, I'll eat it all.
So what's your
Hang on, we got to finish saying our traditions.
Oh yeah.
What's your tradition? I mean, what's something you think you and your family do, whether it be now or when you were a kid, that maybe is not the typical thing?
I don't know that there was anything untypical, honestly. I
Yeah.
think we just got together as many people as possible, and everybody brought dishes and drinks if you were old enough to drink, and
Yeah.
you gather around and eat and break bread and watch football and have some drinks.
Sounds so awesome.
I know.
In my family, I mean, whenever I was a kid, it was at some point my stepdad Randy was going to get into it with my Aunt Valerie, and they were going to yell at each other at some point. That was always a good one. But no, I think for one of the things that started happening, my wife, and she ain't got me talked into this because I stay and watch the kids, but her and her brother and our sister-in-law, they go and run a 5K. What's it called? A turkey trot.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, they
That
love
sounds
it.
terrible.
But my wife's
Hey,
logic.
this day that you can just sit and do nothing, why don't we do everything?
No, my wife has solid logic on this, and it's her logic is like, well, if I get up and I go run 3.5 miles or 3.2 or 3.1, whatever it is, 3.1 miles, and I burn up 1,500 calories, 1,000 calories, whatever. Then I come back, I don't feel bad about having that pecan pie,
Or I just don't feel bad about having that pecan
Yeah,
pie.
just eat the pie.
Yeah, that's what your wife.
Oh.
Eat the pie. Anyways, Thanksgiving here.
So,
His wife makes a phenomenal apple pie. It's like American made. It's great. Anyways,
You were going to ask a question,
Yeah.
too.
I was just gonna ask what meal? What's the one food item, dessert or whatever, meat, whatever, my side item? What's that? If you could only have one thing that's traditionally served at Thanksgiving, what's it gonna be?
for me, I think traditional obviously is different in every household.
Yeah.
It depended on whose house I was at. If I was at my Granny Belle's house, I was for sure, without fail, every single time going to have her chess pie. And of course, she always made chocolate gravy and biscuits and things like that. But she made this chess pie. We call it egg pie or whatever, but it was amazing, and it was just part of the meal. And then at the end of the night, we'd always have peanut butter fudge. And so I'd have to have two there because I can't give up either one. At my Granny BB's house, it was always her chocolate pie. And because it was just, I don't know how she made it like she did, but it was like, I've never tasted another chocolate pie like it as long as I've lived. And everybody like, oh, try this chocolate pie. And I'll eat it. I'm like, yeah. And I don't know if it's just because I grew up with that chocolate pie, and that's what, in my mind, that's what chocolate pie is supposed to taste like. But even my Granny Belle, like her chocolate pie, even though I probably had it before I had Granny BB's chocolate pie, it's just different. So I think that. But when it comes down to the traditional, absolute traditional, I mean, I love stuffing. I think it's just like because I only eat it at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So the way my granny made her stuffing was she saved up biscuits and cornbread and all the stuff. Anytime there was some left over, and she put them in the freezer. And then when it came time to make the Thanksgiving, she'd pull all those out, thaw them out, crunch them all up, and that was the base of the stuffing. And so it was like, I don't know if it was just like, months of love saved up in there or what it was, but it was delicious. And she didn't put too many onions and whatever those other little things that some people put in there are. I like it when it's just a bunch of bread, type stuff, and it tastes delicious. And now I want to eat.
Yeah. If you're not hungry yet.
So that'd be mine. That'd be mine. You go.
So all 8 of those, that'd be yours.
Different places call for different traditions.
This is true.
Well, sweets were always a big deal because I think I told you, but my parents are both like Betty Crocker champions for pies and cakes and stuff.
No, you've never told me this.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's they retired and they just started entering all these competitions and they just started smoking everybody, and it's like they're in books.
What are we gonna eat?
It's pretty crazy. But
we have cutting boards for your brother, but we have no pies to cut on.
With that being said, the one and only that everyone always cares about, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, that has to be there is chicken and dressing. Which, if you're not from the South, you may not know what that is. It's a much more fancy version of stuffing. They took stuffing and they went, what else would be good in this? And then they started cramming eggs in there and chicken in
ours
there.
had eggs and chicken
some
too. I
celery,
thought it was just normal dressing.
Do you have chicken in there?
Yeah.
Well, that's chicken and dressing, though.
I didn't
not
know.
Stuffing. No, stuffing is just there's some spices on basically some crumbled bread sort of part.
Ours always had chicken and hard.
Have you never seen the box in Kroger that says stuffing? That's what it is.
Well, I mean, I never saw that box until I became an adult because my granny made it out of biscuits and cornbread that she saved up in the freezer.
Right, but then she added all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff isn't in that stuffing box.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no chicken in there. There's none of that stuff.
But that ain't where I grew up on. But anyways, I'm glad that we grew up.
Yeah, chicken and dressing. And then there was another part of that there too that none of the kids ate. And then when you became an adult, all of a sudden you started eating it and you're not real sure why. But it was this white gravy mixed with mushrooms and sliced hard-boiled eggs. And I don't know what that was that you started putting that on. But the one that I hate though, cranberries. I'm not putting that canned cranberry. I'm not doing anything with cranberry for anything.
I don't know how it sells so much. I'm like, this is terrible.
Well, it always sells at our house and it sits on our table and no one eats it.
Can we get some of that cranberry sauce? Said nobody ever.
And it cuts like Jello, you know. They cut it. I'm like,
I don't know what it's made of. It's not.
And you know, my being a fat kid, I pick it up like it's going to be Jello. I put it in my mouth. I'm like, that's not freaking Jello right there, bro.
What about you?
Chicken and dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken and dumplings.
You got to know how to make chicken and dumplings.
So that's one thing I'll say about my mom's side of the family, which is where we always went to gather. All the women, man, they could throw down on some chicken and dumplings.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter who brought them or if multiple brought them. If multiple brought them, you ate both. So chicken and dumplings is my go-to. And maybe I'll make some chicken and dumplings this year. It sounds good.
My granny was a big chicken and dumpling maker too, and one of the things is, you know, she'd make her dumplings from scratch, which, you know, a lot of people would just take tortilla shells and cut them up now and do that. But she'd make her dumplings from scratch, and she would make them so paper thin, and I'd see it when they'd be like, I mean, you like literally could see through them, but then when they get in there and they plump up, and they're gonna become a big old. If you make them too thick, they plump up, and you're like chewing on it. But that's awesome. I love chicken and dumplings. Oh man, this is the best episode ever.
My mom used biscuit dough.
Biscuit dough, yeah,
is what my mom would use, and man, some of them would just be like halfway cooked. Man, golly, we gotta wrap this up. I'm getting hungry.
I know. Dang. Well, I mean, but you know, think about that. What we've really done here is we've went through now, and I've gotten nostalgic and I get emotional, but we went back and we've remembered our childhoods, and you take it down to the simple things like you were thankful for having these experiences where you got to eat the chicken and dumplings with your family, and it meant something to you, or you had the chicken and dressing. You know, you break it down to those things. It starts reminding you of how important that time was. And at least it does me. You know, I start thinking about, you know, we take for granted those things. I think when we're young, like, oh gosh, we're going over here and now we got to go to 3 places today because, you know, I come from a broken family, you know, whatever. So now we're going to mom's house. Now we're going to dad's mom's house. Now we're going over here to stepdad's mom's house. And you go to all those places and you're like, by the end of the day, but then you look back now and like, man, every one of those grandmas and grandpas were so excited to see you coming in. Yeah. And they made that meal and they wanted, you know, your granddad's going to pull a quarter from behind your ear and then not give it to you. He's like, I got to have that shit. Give it back. But no, I think it's the nostalgia of the things that we got to live through. And again, when you think about that, being blessed to be born here, and I don't know if other countries have their own version of Thanksgiving. Obviously, ours is celebrated for the fact that we are here and we got our freedoms and all that kind of stuff. But I think that it's something I want to start doing every month. So from now on, guys, I would like to invite y'all to Jared's house so he can cook for us because he's way better cook than me. But I
thought we were all bringing something.
Yeah, I would bring something for you to cook the night before.
I don't like this idea anymore.
Dang it. You got the green egg. I don't have a green egg.
Let's make it happen.
Although
we have to take action.
You probably can't cook turkey very good because you don't like turkey.
I told you I just made one.
The green
smoked
egg.
it.
Yeah, there was only turkey I liked.
Well, anyways, no, I think.
Well, you want to have Thanksgiving food once a month?
Yeah. I'm trying to keep that winter belly on year round. I think it's good. I just think it's just getting together. You know, I mean, we did it at 4th of July at your house. I think we've done it a couple of times. I know you are doing the Bible study, which is hard for me to make sometimes on the weeknight at that time because kids going to bed and stuff like that. But I definitely think that I want to be thankful more than just on Thanksgiving. I want to be thankful year round. I want to have time with my friends that and my family that we set aside every single month because we all get busy, you know. I mean, you're 50 and you're not truly successful. So
ain't made it yet.
We're all 50 and not truly successful.
Ain't made it yet.
But I mean, we all have these lives that we live on a daily basis, and we go and we go and we go, and we're busy, and we see each other. I mean, this podcast has brought us together more than pretty much anything. I mean, obviously, me and Jared, we talk quite a bit more, but even here lately, I mean, we haven't got to talk near as much as we used to because he's on a job, I'm working on a thing. You know, we get to see you when we do this, and then of course events when we're putting on charity events and stuff. All of us are together, but I think it'd just be an important thing for us to all get together, spend that time with each other, be focused on that. You know, put the phones away because I'm guilty of that. You know, and my wife has to remind me all the time, like because I get excited. I love what I do. So it's like, for me, it's like I'm working, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So I have to remember, like, hey, right now you need to be in the moment with these people who are here for you and with you, you know, and put that phone down. And I can see us just coming in and everybody putting the phones in the basket and playing a board game. You know, I'd have to get a babysitter before I can do that. But, you know, you got kids. Do they want to babysit? $20 an hour.
Yeah. Make it happen.
Yeah. I'll send them to the right of the label and have them sit there in the back. With that being said, I just want y'all to know I'm thankful for y'all. And,
me too, buddy.
I'm thankful that we're getting ready to have this Thanksgiving season. And more than anything, I'm thankful that, you know, God and Jesus saw fit for us to all be in each other's lives.
Amen.
So, you too, Tom.
You too, man. Amen.
Producer. Anyways, with that being said, make sure you share, like, subscribe, give us 5 stars. Be thankful that you got to hear us talk today because we're thankful that you're listening. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen.